Fast and firm on a beautiful summer-like Wednesday afternoon here at the Big A as Glenn Kozak and his track maintenance crew hard at work getting the surface, the main track ready for training tomorrow morning. But we don't want to speed up the nighttime here on MSG Plus because we are just breaking from the gate on our first ever Aqueduct Insider. It's Maggie Wolfendale, Jason Blewett alongside. Can you believe, Maggie, 6 months since we were last in the studio?
No, it feels like yesterday we were back here at the Big A, but it's nice home. It's a nice place to get settled into. You know, you don't have to move around so much, so we're tucked in and ready to go.
Ready for the winter. It's cozy, comfortable. Aqueduct has never looked so good, and it's also Breeders' Cup week, and Santa Anita got underway 4 p.m. Eastern time with the first race out there on their Wednesday card. A number of stakes lined up before the big two-day Breeders' Cup festivities. Now, it does seem like there's been some major defections over the last couple of days. Certainly Tuesday belonged to the unbeaten American Pharaoh. We'll miss him in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. And today, Aidan O'Brien announcing that the defending Breeders' Cup Turf winner, Magician, will not be running on Saturday.
Yeah, and he's the third horse who won a 2013 Breeders' Cup race to be defected out of this year's Breeders' Cup. Magician, they detected some lameness in his right front fore. That was a little trite, but right front after they pulled him out of the quarantine barn. So Aidan O'Brien, very cautious trainer, decided to pull him out. So that makes Grand Motionosaurus look a little bit better even.
Yeah, main sequence for sure. You do have Flintshire, though, the horse that was second in the arc for Judd Mont. He looks like a force to be reckoned with in a mile and a half, a $3 million Breeders' Cup turf. Best of luck to the other runners that are in the race, and we hope and we'll keep our fingers crossed that everybody makes the starting gate. Now, Cairo Prince, do you remember him? This is sort of like our section of the show. Do you remember when? Well, Cairo Prince, it wasn't that long ago. In fact, last winter when this horse, Son of Pioneer of the Nile, was actually the early winter book favorite for the Kentucky Derby. He has not started since March 29th in the Florida Derby, and he will not start again. He's off to the breeding shed.
Yeah, that he is. He is standing at Airdrie. Do you believe I'm saying that correctly?
Airdrie, yep.
Yep, and will stand for $10,000. Stud fee. So he was a promising 2-year-old, and I remember him walking into the paddock that late fall day at Belmont and just thinking, what a gorgeous animal. He's very nicely put together, Jay. So hopefully he'll throw some very good looking babies as well.
Pioneer of the Nile, who is the sire of Cairo Prince, has turned out to be a very successful stallion off the bat, and American Pharaoh as well, and maybe Cairo Prince, who's out of a Holy Bull Dam, will pass along that speed and that high cruising speed and that precociousness. Where here at Aqueduct, you talk about top quality. The Big A, and I do mean this, and we obviously work for the New York Racing Association, Aqueduct has never looked so good. $14 million worth of capital improvements over the last year and a half. You think of the greats that carved their names into the history of this place. Seattle Slew, as recent as Teen Pauline, but I'll tell you, the first floor clubhouse opened a brand new color scheme. We've got our white caps that we love that have been here since like the dawn of time. They're all great guys. Champs is now called Silks. There's Teen Pauline, upper right, and the amenities, and it's just all good. I'll tell you, just having everybody in one spot here at Aqueduct really livened up the place today.
Yeah, it really did. And the artwork that we saw, or we see hanging up here at Aqueduct and painted on the walls, it really freshens up the place and kind of embraces the fact that we are in a track that's pretty much in the city. I mean, we're very close to Manhattan, and I remember having the street artists come in and do so many murals, and they've really kind of brightened up and, as you said, livened up Aqueduct.
We've got long shots on the second floor of the clubhouse. That has been a wildly successful operation that was packed throughout Belmont and Saratoga. Make your plans. If you haven't been out here to Aqueduct, we are here 6 months. We do run during the cold winter months. I get all that, but this is not your grandfather's Aqueduct. It really looks terrific out here. We had a good opening day as well with 8 races, a first race post of 1 p.m. We had 3 turf races, 5 on the main track, and we begin with a look back at the third race on Look at That Turf Course. It looks terrific. John Embrial with the call, and we've got a group of New York-bred maidens to ring it open day.
Who came out a bit awkwardly is now straightened away here as the field comes by the stands for the first time. Star Ago has come away with the lead, and Forever Utopia runs in second, and Blue Shark is next in third. Full of Mind down on the inside in fourth. Graceful Gal runs in fifth. A gap of almost 3 lengths back to Lots of Heat in sixth. Then it's Talladega and another 4 to Masalimo, who trails the field in eighth. They make their way around the clubhouse turn. Star Ago leads by 2. Forever Utopia giving chase in second. It's a gap of 3 to Full of Mind, who's third by a head. Blue Shark is on the outside in fourth, the quarter one in 23 and 3/5 seconds. As they head up the backstretch, Star Ago 3/4 of a length. Forever Utopia in second by 4. Then it's Blue Shark. The filly, Graceful Gal, is on the move now on the outside of Blue Shark. Full of Mind is back in fifth. Then Talladega in sixth. A break of 2 to Lots of Heat. 6 more to Masalimo, who continues to trail. The half was run in 49 and 1/5 seconds. And it is Star Ago leading by a half length. Forever Utopia right there in second. And Blue Shark is third. Down on the inside, it's a Lots of Heat racing in fourth, then Graceful Gal and Talladega, and they're coming for the head of the stretch. And Forever Utopia is now in front. On the outside is a Blue Shark. Lots of Heats looking for racing room. Here's on the outside Graceful Gal, and Graceful Gal is now in front. Lots of Heat has got some racing room on the inside, but in the meantime, Graceful Gal has stepped away. And the filly is going to break her maiden against the boys here, and did it decisively, won by 6 or 7 lengths. Talladega comes on to get second over Lots of Heat.
That's right, Johnny. I picked up on it in deep stretch. A filly beating the boys, a daughter of Curlin, Graceful Gal, all by herself in race 3.
I really do love the Curlin progeny, just being around them. But Graceful Gal really put the boys to shame here. She exploded in deep stretch, and Manny Franco was off to a fantastic day early on. He won races 2, 3, and 4, and it really speaks to the notion that he is a really up-and-coming rider that we all have to pay attention to.
19 years old. I forget. You think young kid in his early 20s. He's not turning 20 until December of 2014. Native of Puerto Rico. Finished up a big closing weekend at Belmont Park. Had a good closing day for trainer David Dunk. Looks so strong, and tactically, I just think has stepped up his game all around, and it's Graceful Gal over the boys in race 3. What do you like about the Curlin progeny?
By the ones I've been around, they've been very classy acting. They're all kind of laid back. They save it all for their races. They save it all for their training in the morning. At least that's the ones I've been around. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're not all like that, but we actually have a Curlin colt running tomorrow that we'll talk about later on in the show.
All right, let's do that. That is a date later on for a colt by Curlin as we get on to our featured 7th race, and a good one. It was the last dirt race on this opening day card. It went as the 7th. It's a solid 2 other than $62,000 optional claimer as we send it back to Johnny I.
GLICKMAN goes out for the lead. Bon Vigilante on the outside. Green Grotto is right there. Green Grotto takes second. Bon Vigilante is now racing in third. Loki's Vengeance runs in fourth, and then it's Gomez in fifth, followed on the inside by Double Down Again. Refusing at the start was Candyman E. Way back is Palm Island as they move around the turn. The quarter one in 22 seconds. It is GLICKMAN, the leader here over Green Grotto. Loki's Vengeance down on the inside is third. That is Bon Vigilante in fourth, followed by Gomez and Double Down Again. A break of 5. Back to Palm Island. The field is at the top of the stretch, and they're all chasing GLICKMAN. Loki's Vengeance has moved into second. It's GLICKMAN by 2. Loki's Vengeance. Here's Double Down Again, gaining ground on the outside. Double Down Again goes by them all. Double Down Again opens up here in deep stretch. It will be Double Down Again, a much the best winner. GLICKMAN held on to second over Loki's Vengeance. Bon Vigilante finished fourth.
2 replays so far, both by a lot. I mean, this was just a crushing effort from off the pace. Double Down Down Again, the gray from Michelle Nevin.
Oh, she's done excellent work with this horse. A lot of her other horses she's done extremely good work with. And this is a horse who admittedly likes to run second, but boy, he wasn't second by any meaning of the word here today. He really powered home under Junior Alvarado and looks to be a promising one. But we did have a bit of a kerfuffle here.
Indeed we did. We have a disqualification forthcoming. Blue Cap, Big White Blaze, the speedy GLICKMAN on the lead. Chucky Lopez aboard. Double Down Again, the gray, who's about 4 wide or so, blows by. And Chucky Lopez starts to drift there with GLICKMAN, and this horse will just keep drifting, 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 and drifting. And Loki's Vengeance, the other horse in the blue cap, on the outside. And there you see the final foul there right near the finish line. Stewarts looked at it for a while, and we did have a disqualification where GLICKMAN was DQ'd from second down to third. Not a bad return, though, for Loki's Vengeance for Mike Hushin.
It wasn't. Mike Hushin, you know, he needs no introduction here. And he's done, this horse was promising. I really liked him over the spring and summer months, and he just kind of wasn't getting there. He was good, but he wasn't that good. But this was, I thought, a real step in the right direction. I mean, considering coming off the bench and facing some tried and true veterans in this grouping, I thought it was a great return. And Chucky Lopez trying to do what he could to keep GLICKMAN straight there. But a horse who obviously has some issues, that getting out isn't a good sign.
And we certainly wish both Mike Hushin and Michelle Nevin, who are 1-2, the best of luck. They've got horses running in the Breeders' Cup. Yeah. Michelle, BC Juvenile. Fillies with By the Moon. Mike Hushin, Artemis Agriterra in the Filly and Mare Sprint. As we take a look, Cigar Mile Day, November 29th. It'll be here before you know it. Holiday Fest and a lot more. Stay with us. Stay thirsty to honor and serve. A couple of horses that both competed in Breeders' Cups in the past return later in their careers to both take the Cigar Mile, which we'll have as a big Grade 1 on Saturday, November 29th. Well, speaking of big action and big Saturdays, none more important than this weekend with the Breeders' Cup, a $10,000 live money buy-in contest, breederscup.com/BCBC. Check it out. Top 15 players in that challenge. By the end, when it's all said and done, we'll go on to the DRF NTRA National Handicapping Championship and the backbone of the New York Racing Association, Aqueduct Racetrack. Good to be back at the Big A, and it's good to have all of you with us as Maggie Wolfendale and Jason Blewett rejoin you from the break. Opening day, Maggie, do you remember an opening day as nice as this one regarding the weather?
No, I mean, thinking back the last 2 years, we were dealing with Hurricane Sandy, and the year before that, it was snowing. And so this was, obviously, I'm overdressed for the occasion. I was ready for my, traditional Aqueduct wear, but I could have been out there in a sundress. It was so nice.
The scarf's a good look for you, though.
Well, thank you.
As we get on to a good track announcer, and John Abrial, who has the call of race number 8 on the turf as we end opening day 2014.
And they're off. Sonata away well. From the outside, it's a Tower East and a Blazing Truth. Towards the inside, it's No Texting. Down at the rail is Moonlight Party. No Texting and Blazing Truth. And those two are heads apart for the lead. Sonata is racing in third. Pleasant Outlook on the extreme outside in fourth. Then comes Tower East, who's running in between horses in fifth. They Came to See Me is sixth, followed by Innocuous in seventh as the field heads for the backstretch. Up front, No Texting has the lead over Blazing Truth. Pleasant Outlook on the outside of Sanad. Those two right together, third and fourth. Tower East in fifth, and Moonlight Party down on the inside runs in sixth. Then it's Innocuous in seventh. They Came to See Me is eighth, followed by Furious Warrior, and Tri-Coastal is the trailer in 10th. The quarter, 25-1. The half mile, 51-3. No Texting has the lead here as they approach the far turn, with Blazing Truth putting up the pressure now on the outside. No Texting half length. Blazing Truth in second. Sanad down at the rail in third. Then it's Pleasant Outlook next in fourth, followed by Moonlight Party, Tower East, and Furious Warrior looking to rally down at the rail. They're in the stretch. Blazing Truth and No Texting. No Texting on the inside and Blazing Truth on the outside. It's 2 lengths. Back to Furious Warrior, who takes third. Sanad is fourth. It's Blazing Truth now with the lead. Furious Warrior continues to gain, but Blazing Truth has the lead as they come for the wire, and Blazing Truth takes it. Furious Warrior was second, and No Texting finished third.
Mott Junior Alvarado in the winner's circle for the Wachtell stable and Team Penny Racing. It is Blazing Truth who blazed his way to the winner's circle from the far outside.
Well, you don't see very many Yes It's Trues winning on the turf, but I thought going back, and it was kind of a hindsight thing, putting blinkers on this horse was by far the best move you could possibly make, because he would just wait on horses, watching his other races, and wasn't too inclined to pass them either. So just a shortcut blinker really focused in that energy, and he ran well here today.
Not a bad effort as well from the 10 Furious Warrior. Fiance Tom Worley trains him, and he had a lot of work to do turning for home.
He really did. The first and third horses were 1-2 around the racetrack the whole way, and he was last going into the turn and had a nice little run up the rail, granted, but I was very happy with him. He was one that we had full cut blinkers on him first time, so he kind of ran off and made that middle move, but he got to relax a bit today as we turned the blinkers back.
But a good start to this opening day card for Breeders' Cup bound trainers. Bill Mott with a slew of runners. Do you give Cigar Street a look in the $5 million Classic?
I just like him as a horse. I think he's gorgeous, and you look at horses as I do, and I was just drooling over him each and every time I'd seen him. So he's not impossible. It's that kind of race where you can make a case for anybody, Jay.
We'll see if he makes some noise. I still think there's some untapped potential with the horse whose career up until now has really been held back to an extent by injuries. And you got to think the master of all masters, Bill Mott, has got him as good as hands can get him going into that big test against Shared Belief, Tonalist, Zevo, and the crew in Saturday's 31st Breeders' Cup Classic. As we get back to John Embriao, it's the Furious 5 on this short opening day at the Big A.
Ahead of the stretch, the half mile in 48 seconds. Betty Brown-Nose has now come away with the lead. Black Corona's on the move now into second. Then Samus and Mademoiselle Belle. Betty Brown-Nose trying to hold off Black Coronas. It's Betty Brown-Nose in front. Black Corona's driving on the outside. Betty Brown-Nose got her nose to the wire first to take the fall opener here at Aqueduct. Betty Brown-Nose, born in Brooklyn, looking for racing room is Grandpa Len, and he switches to the outside now. Born in Brooklyn has the lead. Born in Brooklyn in front by 3. Grandpa Len giving chase in second. But it looks like he's going to be second best here. It's Born in Brooklyn in front as they come for the wire. Born in Brooklyn, 3.5 lengths. Grandpa Len was second, and Life's a Roar finished third. Then shout out Seldom Seen Slim way back. And here's Zalicious. Here's Zalicious. Midnight and Positano. The two of them are heads apart with 1/8 of a mile to the finish. Now, here's Zalicious on the outside, pokes ahead in front. Midnight and Positano battles on in second. Here's Zalicious, gets clear, and it's been a heck of an opening day for jockey Manuel Franco. He gets his third victory. Here's Zalicious. Midnight and Positano was second. Then in a flash, Ellis is dropped out of it, and it's 8 Cents who has the lead. 8 Cents in front by 3. Then Billy Pays the Bills, drifting out there. On the outside is Lightning Ron, and on the curve, 8 Cents with a commanding lead and a 16th to the finish. On the curve is now a clear second. They come for the wire, and it will be 8 Cents at even money. On the curve was second. Yes, I'm True. Rallies down on the inside to get third. A photo for 4th. He used to lead here. Lawless Miss on the outside. And down towards the rail, it is Bargaining Table. Then it's Edie, who's still in 4th here. Bargaining Table now comes on through on the inside to take the lead from Is She It? It's Bargaining Table in front with a 16th to the wire. Is She It on the outside in second? It is Bargaining Table at a big price. Is She It? Another long shot completes the exacta.
Pick 6 carryover of Paltry. Let's be honest, it's a little over 12,000 into day number 2 of 4,000 here this fall through winter at Aqueduct. Tomorrow we get underway at 1 p.m. Despite the fact she's unbeaten or was unbeaten in a pair of starts on this Aqueduct turf course, Bargaining Table was set off at a huge price, paid $35 to win in race number 6. She's right at home, Maggie, here in Queens.
She is. I mean, her last couple efforts weren't as good as she is capable of, but she loves it here on this course. She likes rallying up the rail, and a lot of times when you see this course firm, horses do run well up the inside. It seems as though if there's any kind of moisture in this track, though, you want to be be a little bit further out. And it can be a bit of a quirky course in that some horses really, really like it. I would love to go out there and really kind of A, ride on it, or B, just walk over it. I honestly haven't done that, just to see how different it is from the Belmont course.
All right, some things to take forward as we get underway, and certainly turf racing, Mother Nature permitting. We hope to be on it at least for the next month or so. We'll keep our fingers crossed with that. Ruben Silvera, by the way, a very nice ride on bargaining table for John Toscano Jr. at that big price. No claims, in fact, out of race 6. Excuse me, there was one. The dirt horse who tried the turf, Go Olivia Go, reclaimed by David Jacobson. I think the claim of the day, though, Innocuous for 75 G's out of the last.
That's some big bucks for a maiden claimer who finished mid-pack. Maybe they think he'll be better on the dirt. Or Gary's taking him to Gulfstream possibly, but we'll see. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, Gary lost one earlier in the day, and here's Delicious, who was a big drop-down favorite, struggled, but got the job done in a workmanlike effort in race number 4. Three-way shake for that one. Randy Brassard, the next trader, as we take our final rest on this Wednesday edition of Big A Insider. Maggie and I are back in a second. Back at the Big A, we see that paddock installed about a decade ago where the fans in the clubhouse and the grandstand can keep their eyes on the action. As soon as those horses arrive and get saddled, Maggie's down there on a daily basis. And November, a big month. We've got the Aqueduct Handicapping Challenge coming up a couple weeks after the Breeders' Cup, a $400 buy-in up to $200,000 in prizes. And that is a handicapping contest that annually sells out. You can register online and check out NYRA.com for more details and to register. Welcome back, Maggie Wolfendale, Jason Blewett. You've got it locked on MSG Plus as we talk about day number 2 of about 800 here at Aqueduct. Got that pick 6 carryover. We get underway at 1 o'clock. And would you say the 2-year-old maiden races really start to heat up at this track at this time of the year?
They really, really do. I think, because obviously here in New York, we have a Derby Trail, prep races. So I think, people are trying to get their horses into races that are going longer, that they do feel as though have the potential to be those kind of classic horses. And tomorrow's first race is just that. No,
it looks like a very live race. Win or lose, and we hope you cash, but it looks like this race has got some promise in it as we begin September 20th with Frosted for Keir McLaughlin, a horse that was second at Belmont.
Yeah, and we see a stablemate winning here. He's actually wearing the Godolphin colors there, the gray horse. He was still a bit green, in my opinion, in this race. Late to switch leads, actually switches twice in the lane, was lugging in, and was getting to his stablemate or his entry mate there eventually. So we'll see if the longer distance proves to be his key.
Super Saturday opener, Two Dare, the Curlin Colt you talked about earlier, and Tradesman are both dropping out of this one.
I thought Tradesman ran spectacular here. Put in a huge sustained run, rallying up the outside, never dropped the bit, just kept coming to Savoy Stomp. And Two Dare, he's a horse that got away slowly, or didn't get away slowly, but shuffled back. And once he got clear in the lane, was running at those top leaders.
Here's $1 million yearling by Medaglia Doro and Gold Shield, who lost last time out behind Combat Diver at 1-5.
This was not a good race, in my opinion, Jay. His competition in here just wasn't quite what he's going to face tomorrow, I think. And granted, he might be talented, but he should have won last time.
There's a couple of $1 million yearlings in the races. Aldrin goes out for Chad Brown, who just wrapped up a huge Belmont fall meet, and he is the 3/4 to tap it. Your thoughts on Aldrin?
I think the longer, the better with this horse, and the more experience he gets. He's just, I remember in the paddock at Saratoga, he was just a big, raw kind of horse, and I think there's still some fine-tuning to be done with him.
It's a good race. You're not going to want to miss the opener tomorrow at 1 p.m. They will break from the gate, the start of the 50-cent pick 5 as well. A bit later, much later, in fact, is race number 7, Fillies and Mares, Voodoo Tales, the horse to beat for Nick Essler.
And this was domination by Voodoo Tales here back at in the summer in July. And she did have a comeback race in the Pumpkin Pie Stakes where she finished third. It just looked as though her out on the track as though she needed that start, Jay. So I think Nick will have her a lot more together, a lot more fine-tuned coming into this one.
And he's a guy that put up some big numbers at Aqueduct late last winter through the spring, as we talk about another guy that's put up some solid Big A numbers, and trainer Charlton Baker, who's got expression.
I love this mare. She tries her heart out each and every time. She put up some decent fractions coming off the bench. She also had to deal with the presence of that loose horse who kind of dogged her from the beginning of the turn around it and never left her alone. As you see, enough said, finishing the race there. And I thought that was a very promising comeback for this mare.
What does Nick Essler do well, the trainer of Voodoo Tales?
Well, he does a lot of things well. The advantage that Nick has, I think, is that he gets on a lot of his own horses, especially the nice ones such as Voodoo Tales, so he can really feel, and he works them, and he knows when they're ready, and he properly places his horses. I think that is his biggest asset, in that he knows exactly what he has, and he puts them in the right spots.
Well, another guy that's properly placed in this show, Andy Serling. We're in deep stretch. Here's who to look for tomorrow afternoon.
Back here at the Big A, 7th race, 7 of 8 on Thursday's card. Appears to be plenty of speed on paper. I think that'll set things up well, I should say, for the 7 Expression, a horse who actually surprisingly showed speed last time. She was coming off of a substantial layoff, a 7+ month layoff, and I think the speed will be a good tightener for her in here. She's a horse that does her best running from off the pace, gets pace to run into, and there is no doubt Voodoo Tales, if she shows up with a good effort, probably Expression can't beat her. But her last race, not that good. There's other speed in here, and I'm hoping it sets things up for the 7 Expression in the 7th race on Thursday.
Thank you very much, Andy. The Twitter question, it went out earlier today. It is all things Breeders' Cup. Who do you think of the New York-based horses has the best shot of winning out on the West Coast? We've got a number of very good answers, and we get to our first response from Empru 0318. Says Palace, plenty of speed to run into, can come from off the pace. New York bred too.
He's been ultra consistent this year, and gotta love the New York bred showing up. We have Zevo in the Classic, we have Artemis Agritera in the Filly and Mare Sprint, and I like that.
Well, Michelle Nevin got off to a quick start at this Aqueduct Fall meet, and she's got By the Moon running in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, and G.S. Mather says has to be the horse of the Juvenile Fillies. I like By the Moon, impressive at Togard. Here she is breaking her maiden.
And she was pretty good as well, winning the Frazette, too, for Michelle Nevin. And she's done a great job with this filly JMS stables. I'm sure Samantha Siegel will be out there present in California for her 3rd start of her career.
With the green and blue JMS silks. Those Saratoga sub-silks are okay. Not as classy as JMS, who certainly has put a lot of time, money, and effort into the game. Loves the game. She's worth a follow on Twitter as well. Hit us up on Twitter. We'll say goodnight. The buzzer has sounded in the meantime, and it's day number 2 with the carryover and that solid 2-year-old baby race starting things off for the Thursday card. Have a great night, everybody.